Oftentimes during training, during evolutions, you know, you could be at the gym, you could be playing sports, and you may get hurt. There's a big difference between being hurt and being injured. We can get into the technicality of it, but when you are hurt, you're simply feeling some pain, discomfort. To me, that's your body telling you to stop doing what you're doing because you're gonna hurt yourself further, and you may result in an injury. So quick story, when I first got to the fleet, Lance Corporal, no, I was a PFC. First got to the fleet, I was a PFC. We were doing a super squad exercise, competition between squads within my company, within my platoon even. And we were in Camp Lejeune. We were going from 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines area, all the way out to the beach through numerous exercises, right? In that process, I started feeling pain on my knee. And there were some portions of it where you had to fireman carry one of the Marines. And since my knee hurt, they did that for me, right? But as I'm going through it, I remember my squad leader literally grabbing me by the neck and saying, "You're hurt, you're not injured, keep going." And there's a fine line between being hurt and being injured. When you're hurt, you feel the pain, your body's telling you to slow down, but you can push through it to a certain extent. When you're injured, now an injury is much more severe, right? On another instance, I had a fracture on my foot, 7 screws, surgery, the whole thing. I was good to go. Remember, that was an injury. I recovered from an injury. On my first PFT, I'm out there running for 3 miles, and halfway, my foot starts to hurt. And I see my chief petty officer. At this time, I'm a gunnery sergeant already. And I see my chief petty officer, which was the doc, and I say, "Hey doc, my foot's starting to hurt." And they said, "Well, Gunny, if you stop, you fail." Oh, guess what? We're not gonna fail, right? So I kept running. At the end of that, I was injured. At the end of the run, I in fact had a stress fracture on my foot again. So there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. You gotta understand which is which. Oftentimes, when you're hurt, your brain will tell you to stop long before you have to. And you can push yourself further and further and further if you have the mindset to do it. That is the big difference between special operations, infantry units, the guys who are not, and the guys who are in the civilian world. You have to push under those circumstances. In the civilian world, we don't have to. That is not necessary. So my recommendation is push yourself, but stop after a certain amount of time so that you don't cause an injury.